When I first came across the story of the espionage plot that Leonid Tarasuk had organized to warn the West of a nuclear first strike, I didn't know what to do with it. But the Russians who told me the story said that Leonid, after he moved to New York, had collaborated with Jacqueline Onassis on a book. So ultimately, I tried to contact her, and much to my surprise, she grabbed on to the story. She was absolutely intrigued, and I didn't know why. It happened so quickly, and in no time flat, I found myself having a regular series of phone conversations with her. But after the first conversation, she said to me something that simply stopped me cold in my tracks. She said, "You're going to end up squished in a trash can somewhere." For the lady in the pink suit climbing on the back of the limousine to grab a piece of her husband's skull, to tell me that I'm going to end up squished in a trash can somewhere was pretty dramatic stuff. Really stopped me in my tracks. But in no time flat, I found myself in New York. I found her passion for the story was staggering. She launched in our first meeting into a discussion of the history of Yuri Nosenko and James Angleton, which is a notorious story about a Soviet defector claiming that the Soviets had no involvement in the JFK assassination. There was no way for her to bring that story up in the context of what I'd taken to her without it indicating that she was thinking about whether this story led to the fact that there was some Russian involvement in the events in Dallas. And eventually, I think that's where it went. Jackie was incredible. She was sharp, she was direct, and very, very kind. This was a lady who was so grounded, so comfortable in her own skin that she could be funny and candid, and I was constantly astonished at how open she was and how helpful to me she was. It certainly was one of the great pleasures of my entire life to work with her. She proceeded with intellectual integrity, with no fear whatsoever of where the story led, and it led to some pretty bizarre places. I hope you'll enjoy reading Squished: Jackie Kennedy, Espionage, Murder, and Me.